How do you get pet custody after a breakup? I can't believe this question comes up so often. I don't like this question, but it comes up a lot, so I'll give you the best answer I possibly can. I cannot speak on what the law is in every jurisdiction, but according to Utah law, that's where I practice divorce and family law, the answers are, if by breakup you mean the breakup of a marriage by divorce, well, pets are property, and so they are treated like property, although because they are living creatures, they are not treated as a coffee table or money in a bank account would be, obviously. And usually pets are not an asset, but more of a liability. Now, I know there could be pedigreed dogs or racehorses or valuable animals like that, but we'll talk about general pets. While I can sell a used coffee table, and while I can spend my half of the money I was awarded out of a joint marital bank account, owning and caring for a pet costs money. If one spouse is willing to take on the liability associated with caring for a pet and the other spouse is not, then who gets the dog or the cat or the iguana won't be in dispute. But if both spouses love the dog and both of them want to keep the dog for himself or herself, then who is awarded this particular piece of property can lead to a vicious and expensive fight. We can't split the dog in half as we could with money in the bank. But we could award one spouse the dog and then compensate the other spouse with an award of other marital property or cash equal to the value of the dog. That often happens. But what about the intangible factors of pet ownership? While I can go out and buy a replacement coffee table if my spouse gets one in the divorce that we bought together, it's not as easy simply to buy a replacement dog. People become emotionally attached to pets and certain kinds of pets, especially dogs, I hear, and that emotional bond is often unique to that animal. Just as losing a child is not cured simply by adopting a new one, so to speak, the relationship one formed with a pet is sometimes impossible to replace, like one would replace a light bulb. Still, there is only so much a court can do when faced with who gets Fido. What options are there? If the court decides that one spouse must be awarded the sole ownership and control of the pet, then the court will usually award the pet to one spouse and award the other spouse some marital property or cash of equal value. If the court decides that the parties to the divorce will, so to speak, share custody of the pet as if it were a child who spends time in the custody of both parents, the court can do that too. The court could order that Fido spends a week with ex-wife, then a week with ex-husband, or impose some other kind of schedule. Now, if by breakup you mean the breakup of a cohabitant or unmarried relationship, that's different. Now, if two people cohabit, that means they live together and have a sexual relationship without being married. And if during that cohabitant relationship, the couple both contribute money toward the purchase of a dog or a cat or an iguana, etc., so that it's a joint purchase and so they are co-owners, and then the couple breaks up and they can't agree upon who gets to keep the dog, then they could go to court to have the matter resolved. In fact, that may be the only way to resolve the matter. The judge could either order the dog sold and the proceeds of sale divided equally between the owners, or award the dog to one of the parties and order that the other party pay the half of the value of the dog to the party that didn't get custody of the dog. Or one member of the couple could buy a dog to which the other member of the couple becomes attached. If that happens and then the couple breaks up, the other member of the couple has no ownership rights in the pet. They're not married, so the acquisition of the pet isn't marital property. Had the couple been married when the pet was purchased, even if it was not a joint purchase, then because the couple was married when the property, i.e. the pet, was acquired, the pet is marital property, and thus they co-own it. But when a couple is not married, if one member of the couple purchases something in his or her individual or separate capacity, then that person is the only owner. It is not joint property.